There's a reason she picked you, and it's not the one she whispered in your ear when she said you're different from all the others. The real reason you're in her life right now is the same reason that months from now you might find yourself staring at her phone, reading messages that make your stomach drop. But before you invest your time, your energy, and your heart into someone who's playing a game you don't even know the rules to, you need to understand 3 things she'll never admit, not to you, not to her friends, not even to herself. First, there's a moment in her life when everything changes, a moment that flips her entire approach to relationships. If you can spot what triggers that shift, suddenly all her actions make sense. Second, there's a word she uses when she talks about you with her friends. That word tells you exactly where you stand in her mind. And third, and most importantly, there's a way to protect yourself in this situation, but it means doing the opposite of what you've been taught about being a good man. I'm going to break down all 3 before this video ends, but first, I want to show you something that will forever change how you see these situations. This is a story that plays out in the lives of thousands of men. Maybe it's playing out in yours right now. She looks at you in a way that makes your heart race. She knows exactly what to say, when to touch your arm, how to make you feel like you're the only man who truly gets her. The chemistry is electric, intense, uninhibited, unlike anything you've experienced before. And somewhere deep down, you start to wonder, is this finally the real thing? But then, little things start to feel off. Stories about her past don't quite add up. Her phone is always face down. There's that ex who keeps popping up at odd hours, and she insists it's nothing. There are a few too many male friends who seem a little too familiar, sharing inside jokes that leave you feeling like an outsider. Whenever you ask about it, she has a perfect answer, and somehow you end up feeling like the jealous, insecure one. You apologize, you promise to trust her more, but that nagging voice in your head, the one you keep trying to silence, keeps warning you that something isn't right. That voice is right, and what I'm about to share is exactly why. Let's talk about a specific moment that happens in the life of a woman who spent years chasing excitement. It's a moment she rarely admits, maybe doesn't even realize, but it changes everything about how she chooses partners. That moment is when she decides to settle down. For years, she chased men who made her feel alive, guys who were unpredictable, a little wild, emotionally unavailable. She mistook drama and intensity for love. She gave everything, hoping that passion would turn into commitment. She waited for texts that never came, accepted scraps of attention, and competed with other women for men who were never going to choose her for anything real. She kept playing that game year after year because the rush was addictive. But that game has a shelf life. At some point, maybe 30, maybe 35, something shifts. She sees her friends getting married, having kids. She notices that the men who once chased her now barely look her way. She starts to feel the pressure, social, biological, internal, and that's when her strategy changes. That's when she notices you, and it's not for the reasons you think. You've spent years building a stable life. You've worked hard, stayed focused, built a foundation. You're reliable, responsible, and ready for something real. You're the kind of man who treats women with respect, who believes in loyalty, who wants to build a future. For her, at this stage, you're the answer to a problem. You're the safe harbor after years of self-inflicted storms. You're the solution to the question, how do I escape this cycle before it's too late? But here's the hard truth. She's not choosing you for the same reasons she chose those other men. They sparked her desire, her passion, her wild side. You trigger her logic, her need for security. They were the thrill, you're the insurance policy. I know that stings. You want to believe she's finally grown up, that she's learned to value the right things, that she sees your worth. But keep watching, because what comes next is even more important. There's a word she uses when she talks about you with her friends. It's not an insult, and she doesn't say it with disdain. In fact, she says it with relief, with a sense of practical satisfaction. The word is reliable. I finally found a reliable guy. I needed someone reliable in my life. He's so reliable, he makes me feel secure. It sounds like a compliment, right? But think about it. When was the last time you described your greatest passion as reliable? When you talk about something you love, something you can't live without, do you call it reliable? Or do you use words like amazing, exciting, irresistible? Reliable is how you describe your car, your job, your bank account. And that's the harsh reality. To her, you're a practical choice, not an overwhelming desire. You're the smart decision after years of reckless ones. And part of her, the part that craved chaos and passion, will miss that, even if she doesn't realize it yet. Maybe not now, while everything is new, but when routine sets in, when she sees you in sweatpants on a lazy Sunday, when life gets stressful and romance takes a back seat, that part of her will wake up, and that's when the problems start. She truly believes she's changed. She believes she's matured, that she's learned from her mistakes, that she knows what she wants now. She's not lying when she says the past is behind her. She believes it. But here's what she doesn't understand. Every time she chased validation, every time she used intimacy as a way to feel wanted, every time she blurred boundaries for a rush of attention, she was wiring her brain. She was building habits, creating associations between love, excitement, and chaos. Those patterns don't just vanish because she decided to settle down. They're still there, waiting for a moment of boredom, insecurity, or doubt. And when that moment comes, and it always does, her brain will reach for what's familiar. She'll seek validation the way she always has, through attention from other men, flirty messages, social media likes, that just a friend at work. At first, it'll seem harmless, just conversation, just being friendly. But the boundaries that someone with a healthy past naturally keeps, she never learned them, because for years she didn't need to. She'll tell you a story of growth, of lessons learned, of wanting something real. I was with the wrong guys, I made mistakes, but I've changed. Now I want a real man, someone like you. It's everything you want to hear. You want to believe it because she's beautiful, because the chemistry is intense, because it feels good to be the man who finally won her. But ask yourself, what actually changed? Did she spend years in therapy, working through her issues? Did she learn to be happy on her own, without constant attention? Or did she just reach an age where the men she used to chase stopped chasing her? If she changed, was it because she grew or because her options shrank? Is she her first choice, or just the best available now that Plan A is off the table? That's a question most men don't ask until it's too late.
The first few months are perfect. She's attentive, affectionate, all in. She talks about the future, maybe even hints at marriage or kids. You start to relax, to believe this time is different. You invest, you plan, you dream. But then, 6 or 9 months in, something shifts. She's still saying the right things, but there's a new distance. The intimacy is still there, but less frequent, less passionate. She's less enthusiastic about the future. You notice little things, how she lights up when she checks her phone, how she puts more effort into her appearance for work than for you, how that friend keeps coming up in conversation. When you ask, she tells you you're imagining things, that you're insecure, that you need to trust her, and you start to doubt yourself because you've been told that a confident man doesn't worry about these things. But your gut knows the truth. She's starting to look outside the relationship for the excitement she used to find with you, because the routine isn't enough, because the void was never filled. And here's what you need to know. It's not your fault. You couldn't have done anything differently. The problem isn't that you weren't enough. It's that she never healed the part of her that led to those patterns in the first place. Now, I'm going to say something you might not want to hear, something that goes against everything you've been told about giving people a chance and not judging their past. But listen closely. This could save you years of pain. A woman with a long history of chasing excitement who hasn't done the deep work to change isn't looking for a partner. She's looking for an anchor. She's looking for proof that she can still land a good man. And the cruelest part is, she doesn't even realize it. She believes her own story of redemption, but believing something doesn't make it true. Women aren't a mystery when you understand the patterns. I spent years making the same mistakes until I learned what I'm sharing with you now. I stopped attracting drama and finally found someone who truly values me. If you want to know how, check the description below. Because what I'm about to tell you is how to handle this situation, not with anger, but with smart self-protection. If you're in this situation right now, listen carefully. This might sound harsh, but it's the truth I've seen play out over and over. First, be honest about what you want. If you're just looking for fun, enjoy it, but don't get attached. Don't make long-term plans. Don't introduce her to your family. Don't mix finances. Understand that it's temporary, and when it ends, you won't be blindsided. But if you want a real partner, if you're thinking about marriage or kids, you need to be brutally honest about what you're seeing. Your time is precious. Your ability to trust is limited. If you invest it in the wrong person, you don't just lose years, you lose a part of yourself you may never get back. I've met men who lost everything because they ignored the signs. Men who pay the price for years, emotionally and financially. And every single one says the same thing. The signs were there. I just didn't want to see them. So ask yourself, are you seeing what's really in front of you or just what you want to believe? She's good at selling fantasy. She's had years of practice, and you want to believe it because you're tired of being alone, because you want to be the hero who saves her. But you can't save her. Only she can do that, and it takes years of hard work most people never do. If you still want to be with her after everything I've said, at least go in with your eyes open. Watch her actions, not her words. Does she keep healthy boundaries with other men? Is her phone always hidden? Does she talk about a future with you, or is she vague? Set clear boundaries and stick to them. If she crosses the line, don't argue. Just walk away, because a man who doesn't enforce his boundaries will be walked over until he's a shell of himself. But honestly, if you want a real partner, my advice is simple. There are women out there with healthier patterns who will choose you out of genuine passion, not just practicality. Women who won't make you feel like you're competing with the ghosts of her past. Your time, your peace of mind, your future, they're too valuable to gamble on bad odds. The choice is yours, but now you have the truth. Make your decision with your eyes wide open, not from wishful thinking, but from clarity about what you're really choosing. Don't be the man who looks back in 5 years and says, "I saw the signs, I just ignored them." That kind of regret will haunt you. If this video gave you the clarity you needed, hit subscribe. Every week we talk about the truths no one else will tell you, truths that could save you years of pain. And comment below. Are you in this situation right now? Just type yes or no. I want to know how many men are facing this exact scenario. How to deal with a woman with a complicated past, with open eyes, a guarded heart, and the courage to walk away if you need to. Sometimes the smartest move is not to play the game at all. Let's break down the psychology behind why some women make these choices. For many, it starts in their teenage years or early 20s. Maybe she grew up in a home where love was inconsistent, or maybe she was always told she was special, beautiful, and deserved the best. Either way, she learned early that attention from men was a form of currency. The more she got, the better she felt about herself. But attention is addictive. It's like a drug. The first time she gets it, it's a rush, but over time she needs more and more to feel the same high. So she chases men who are hard to get, who don't treat her well, who make her work for their approval. She confuses the anxiety and excitement of the chase with real love. And every time she gets burned, every time she's left waiting for a text that never comes, she tells herself she'll do better next time. But the pattern repeats because she's chasing a feeling, not a person. Society puts a lot of pressure on women to settle down by a certain age. She sees her friends getting married, having kids, posting happy family photos on Instagram. She starts to feel left behind. Maybe her parents start asking when she's going to bring someone home. Maybe she starts to worry about her biological clock. And suddenly, the men who used to excite her don't seem so appealing. She starts looking for stability,
for someone who can offer her the life she thinks she's supposed to have. That's when you come into the picture. You're the safe bet. You're the guy who has his life together, who's ready to commit, who won't disappear after a few weeks. You're the man she can introduce to her family, the man she can build a future with. But here's the thing, you're not her first choice. You're the backup plan. You're the man she chooses when the men she really wanted are no longer available. And that's not fair to you. So, how do you know if you're in this situation? Here are some warning signs.
She talks a lot about her past relationships, but always as the victim. She has a lot of male friends, and they seem unusually close. She's secretive about her phone or social media. She's quick to accuse you of being jealous or controlling if you ask questions. She moves quickly in the relationship, talking about the future, wanting to meet your family, making big plans. She's incredibly affectionate and attentive at first, but it fades over time. If you see these signs, pay attention. They're not guarantees, but they're red flags. I've seen too many men ignore these signs, hoping things will get better. They invest years into a relationship, only to find out she was never really committed. They end up heartbroken, financially drained, and questioning their own worth. Don't let that be you. So what can you do to protect yourself? Take your time. Don't rush into anything. Let the relationship develop naturally. Pay attention to her actions, not just her words. Set boundaries. Be clear about what you will and won't tolerate if she crosses a line, and force consequences. Keep your independence. Don't give up your friends, hobbies, or goals for her. Maintain your own life. Watch for patterns. If you notice the same issues coming up over and over, don't ignore them. Seek outside perspective. Talk to friends or family you trust. Sometimes they can see things you can't. At the end of the day, the most important thing is self-respect. Don't settle for being someone's backup plan. Don't let anyone make you feel like you're not enough. You deserve to be with someone who chooses you because they want you, not because they need you. Let me share a few stories from men who've been through this. Story 1. John met a woman who seemed perfect. She was beautiful, fun, and said all the right things. But after a year, he found out she was still talking to her ex. She said it was just friendship, but it turned out she was keeping her options open the whole time. Story 2. Mike married a woman who had a history of short, intense relationships. She promised she was ready for something real, but after they had kids, she started seeking attention from other men online. Mike tried to make it work, but eventually she left him for someone else. Story 3. Raj dated a woman who moved in with him after just a few months. She was affectionate and loving at first, but soon became distant. He later found out she was using him for stability, while she figured out what she really wanted. These stories aren't unique. They happen every day, and they all started with the same warning signs. Sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away. It's not easy, especially if you care about her, but staying in a relationship where you're not truly valued will only hurt you in the long run. Remember, you can't fix someone else's issues. You can only control your own choices. So what does a healthy relationship look like? Both partners are honest and open about their pasts. There's mutual respect and trust. Boundaries are clear and respected. Both people are committed to personal growth. There's real passion, not just convenience. If you're not getting these things, it's time to ask yourself why you're staying. Your future is too important to waste on someone who doesn't truly value you. Don't let fear of being alone keep you in a bad situation. Don't let someone else's issues become your burden. You have the power to choose. You have the right to demand more. And you deserve a relationship that's built on real love, not just necessity. If this video gave you something to think about, hit subscribe. Every week we talk about the truths no one else will tell you, truths that could save you years of pain. And comment below, are you in this situation right now? Just type yes or no.
I want to know how many men are facing this exact scenario. How to deal with a woman with a complicated past, with open eyes, a guarded heart, and the courage to walk away if you need to. Sometimes the smartest move is not to play the game at all.